What's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing, and we back at it. Back at it once again with another one of those classic quarantined fantasy tournaments. This week or today, because we might drop many more this week. We got time, you know what I mean? Today we're doing the 154-pound division, junior middleweight, light middleweight, super welterweight, however you want to call it. And I got two fellas with me on the panel. Introduce yourselves.
It's Christian Caban. Well, when you live here, you sleep boxing. One of the hottest boxing groups on Facebook.
And you got from the UK, Charlie Brown Boxing Audio.
Yes, indeed. Big up to Charlie Brown. Subscribe to his channel. Big ups to We Live, Eat, Sleep Boxing. Chris Caban's livest Facebook group on YouTube. Go subscribe. Go join the groups on YouTube already. Hold up, fellas. Let me send these links out to social media one time. Okay, doke. We good to go, man. So we gonna set it off, man. 154-pound division. Before I before I go in, man, I want to know y'all fellas thoughts. What you think about the middleweight division? I'm sorry, super welterweight, junior middleweight, 154-pound division, or as Scorsese or Low Place used to call it, the Negro Leagues. Currently, what you think about them for just in history? What's your thoughts on this division?
I love that. I used to love that division though.
Yeah,
That was more like the super middleweight. That was more like the junior middleweight. That was more like a fast food division though.
you sound a little muffled. Or you going in and out?
I said the 154 division was more like guys passing through.
Yeah,
But we did get to see some good fight there.
absolutely. Yes, indeed. Charlie, your thoughts on this division historically overall from the beginning till now?
It's had some exciting fights as well. It's a good, I guess people use it like a catchweight between welterweight and middleweight. So
Absolutely.
like Chris said, we've seen some good fights over the years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really my division. I like the lightweight and featherweight division,
Yeah.
but it's all right. We've had some good fights over the years.
True indeed. All right, man. Thanks for your input, fellas. Let's get into it, man. Without further ado,
So
let's go. All right. First fight we got. And by the way, let me preference this for anybody who's looking at these lists that we doing. This particular list is not like the number one seed is the best. These are randomized, all right? So it's a list created with 16 fighters, and this particular one is randomized. So anybody could be fighting anybody in the first round. So that's how it is. So let's get into it. The first round we got Arislandi Lara versus Harry Simon. Arislandi Lara was a champion, WBA champion for many years, at least since like 2015 till he lost to Jared Hurd. And when was that? About 2018, 2019? So he had a good run. 2018, he had a good run. To about 2014 to 2018, WBA champion, and Harry Simon as well was a very good champion from like 99 till 03, 02, 03 with the WBO title from Namibia, Africa. So the Namibian versus the Cuban. How do you see it? We're gonna go with Charlie Brown. You're gonna set it off on this particular round.
Boy, boy, this is going to be a hard fight for Arislandi Lara. Um, yeah, the pressure and the work rate and power of Harry Simon's going to be trouble for him. This one, I haven't had time to think about this one, but this is quite tight. I probably got Eris Landry Lara edging out a split decision.
Mm.
Yeah, about 8 rounds to 7, probably.
This particular fight, I think it should be a 12 rounder because neither guy has ever fought a 15 rounder.
Yeah, that's gonna be 12.
Yeah.
So well, then it's 7-5 then.
7-5 in favor of
Eris Landry Lara.
the American Dream. Charlie Brown got 7-5 split decision for the American Dream.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Um, Harry Simon versus American Dream. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one right here. I think Harry Simon is a very good fighter. He's a come forward fighter, volume puncher. A guy who's going to be stepping on the gas coming forward. The man Erislandy Lara will be the lateral mover, the Cuban mover. The guy they say that these Cubans run, but I think Erislandy Lara will be on his bicycle for the most part. But I think that Harry Simon will cut off the ring. You know what I'm saying? And he'll be trying to cut off the ring, throw them body shots from close quarters, left uppercuts, using the kind of bob and weave style. That's what Harry Simon did, you know what I mean, to get on the inside and throw the combinations. And I think he'd have to force the man Erislandy Lara to fight in the pocket. I don't think Lara would be able to all 12 rounds, you know what I mean? I think Harry Simon's pressure will make the man Lara stand in the pocket and want to slug it out too, kind of like what he did with Angulo. Now, he had some success versus Angulo, even after coming off the canvas, you know what I mean? And he might have some success with Harry Simon too, you know what I'm saying? But I think Harry Simon's volume punching compared to Erislandy Lara's precise punching, picking shots, not wasting punches. Lara's a very accurate puncher. In Lara's prime, he was only second to Floyd Mayweather in accuracy as far as landing over 50% in everything he throws, from jabs to power punches and total punches overall. But I think versus Harry Simon, man, the volume punching versus the precise punching, and I think that Harry Simon will win a close split decision as well. You know what I mean? Could be a draw, or I think it would be a very controversial decision. You know what I mean? But I think Harry Simon will get the nod because of the volume punching. 7 rounds to 5, split or what you call it, majority decision victory for the Namibian Harry Simon.
okay. Well, I'm gonna have to agree with you, B. Mars. They call him the American Dream, but this will be an American nightmare if he fight Arizona. And I got damn Laura moving around trying to box from the outside. Then Harry Simon, he had fast hands also.
Yeah.
I got him flying through a lot of combinations. He was a very hard puncher. So I even got Laura getting off the canvas a couple of times.
Yeah, I see that too. I do.
Yeah, I got I got I got Simon by YWD based off the knockdown.
Ooh, Simon by YUD.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I could dig it, man. So Chris Caban puts in his vote. Wide unanimous decision. How many rounds?
I think it's gonna be like I know I win them 4 rounds, but after that I got Simon pretty much beating them up.
Mm-hmm. So 8 rounds to 4 for Harry Simon. So Charlie Brown put his vote in, called a split decision victory for Lara. I had a split decision for Simon. Chris Caban picked Simon as well via wide UD. So Harry Simon, the Namibian, moves on. Who do we have next? Oh boy, we got the Motor City Cobra, the Hitman, Detroit, Michigan's own Tommy the Hitman Hearns versus two-time junior welterweight champion. I'm sorry, super welterweight champion of the world, Fernando Vargas. How do you see this fight going, Charlie?
Tommy Hearn knocking Vargas out early, probably about the 4th round. I don't think it is the reach and height of Tommy Hearns is going to be too much for Fernando Vargas to handle. The jab's going to be too fast, too direct.
Yeah.
And Vargas, at times he weren't disciplined outside of the ring as well.
Yeah.
And so his conditioning wasn't it's not good enough to handle someone like Tommy Hearns' power. So I got Tommy Hearns knocking him out probably in about 4 rounds.
Tommy Hearns by 4th round KO. Woo. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one, but I think Fernando Vargas is gonna bite the dust. You know what I mean? I think Tommy Hearns just a little too tall, too rangy. Just a better boxer. Got a beautiful jab. And the body shots, Fernando Vargas will be like a deer caught in headlights. And I think Fernando Vargas will have a lot of trouble trying to get inside of the long reach of the hitman Hearns. And I see him walking into something. I see him getting stopped. Probably in about 5 rounds as well, you know what I mean? Stopped on his feet. You know what I'm saying? And possibly dropped a couple times before that. I got this just a thorough domination from Tommy Hearns. And I think he's going to win this fight via 5th round stoppage. Referee's going to see enough. It's going to get a beating. That's how I see it. Hitman Hearns by 5th round stoppage. How you got it, Chris?
I agree with Charlie. I think he's gonna get caught. He's gonna get blasted out there. I got Hearns knock him out in 4.
Whew, 1st round knockout. Yeah. Does Fernando Vargas has any shot, any rhyme or reason?
A shot in his ass.
I feel you, man. It's just a bad matchup style, man. No bueno for the man Fernando Vargas. So, UD, everybody got him getting knocked out. Bye, Fernando. See you later. You could go back to Oxnard, California.
Sleep.
All right, next up, we have Mike McCallum, the body snatcher, WBA champion at 154 pounds versus a short-lived champion, Sergio Maravilla Martinez, WBC champion at 154. How do you see it, Charlie?
Sergio Martinez was quite strong at 154. So I would expect him, he was quite dangerous, so I'd expect him to actually be the front runner against McCallum. But, however, Callum's too skillful for someone like Martinez, even though he's a southpaw. I see McCallum countering to the body, slowing him down over probably over the first 6 or 7 rounds. And in the later rounds, I see him finishing strong. I thought about this. Maybe the southpaw style might give him a bit of trouble, but he'll start to figure out Martinez. Martinez was a good champion, but yeah, he got better as he went up to middleweight. At 154, he just used to throw the big left hook. He had a lot of speed as well, and he used to use a lot of leverage. But then, I don't know, man. I got McCallum winning unanimous decision, man. And I see him dropping Martinez a few times as well. Not to the head, not headshots though. It'll be body shots.
Yeah.
I see McCallum unanimous decision probably about 10 rounds to 5. About 10 rounds to 2, should I say?
Yeah, man. 10 rounds to 2. Wide decision for the Mike McCallum. You got it right.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. It's my goal. That's right. Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez reign at 147 was very short-lived. He was ducked by plenty of fighters, and the number one guy who was ducking him was Vernon Forrest. You know what I mean? That's why he went to 170. Oh, I'm sorry, to 160. Couldn't get no fights at 160. Neither could Paul the Punisher Williams. So they met up at 150 or at 160. You know what I mean? Um, this is gonna be a good fight right here. You know what I mean? Very good fight. I think what's his name? Mike McCallum had good body shots, but the only flaw you can say with Mike McCallum are his feet. His feet weren't quite. He wasn't quite the fastest. Wasn't quite quick with his feet. I seen Samba Kalambe. That's how Kalambe beat him in the first fight. You know, he figured him out in the second fight. But this was after Kalambe had been knocked out already by none. Mike McCallum was being outboxed by Samba Kalambe with the footwork, and that's what Sergio Martinez have. He has superb footwork. Fast feet, lateral movement. A guy who moves in perpetual movement the whole fight, 12 rounds. Got a high stamina. You know what I'm saying? But Mike McCallum was a master at gauging the distance and range. And I think that's where he would have the edge on Sergio Martinez. You know what I mean? I think the body shots would help him close down the range and the distance and the short punches on the inside. You know what I mean? Mike McCallum would also double up his jab and throw a left hook behind his jab, just to give different looks to the opponent. Like you said, Charlie, might be some knockdowns from Sergio going down, possibly from body shots. I could see that as well. Um, but I think Michael Callum will have trouble with Sergio's southpaw stance, and Sergio will be baiting him in. Sergio's not the greatest defensively. I mean, he can't get dropped. He can't get hit. But I think he'll be baiting the man Mike McCallum with his hands down and trying to counter him with some left hooks. I'm sorry, right hooks, the straight left hand to the gut. So I think it's going to be a tough matchup for both guys. You know what I mean? And I think Sergio Martinez might come out the victor in this. By throwing the straight left hand and the right hooks, using the footwork and keeping away. I think he might control the ring generalship and have the man Mike McCallum trying to stalk down the opponent. You know what I mean? Trying to stalk down Martinez. And Martinez might go down though, from some left hooks to the liver as well. You know what I mean? And that might be the difference. I think the knockdowns will be the difference. I can see Sergio winning, but then he might get dropped or draw. And I think the difference will be a knockdown. So I think I might just have to edge it to McCallum. But it's a tough fight that could go either way. You know what I mean? I think Sergio Martinez is very underrated as far as his foot speed. And I think that was the best asset of his game. His gas tank and his footwork. You know what I mean? Because he was a former soccer player. So I think Sergio Martinez, man, would do well, but I think he would get caught with a body shot and he will go down at some point, and that would be the difference. So I got the man Mike McCallum winning this fight 113 to 112. I'm sorry, what is it? 114, 114. 114, 113. 6 rounds apiece, but the knockdowns the difference in favor of the man Mike McCallum.
All right.
Yep.
Let me do my thing. I'm gonna go with Mike McCallum also, but I see the fight playing out like this. I see Sergio Martinez controlling the fight with his lateral movement, doing
Yeah.
his little pop shot there. But after that, when round 5 come along, him putting his hands down to his side, I think he's gonna pay. I think he's gonna get in trouble with that shit because Mike McCallum also had a good jab, not
Yeah.
just body shots. I
Mhm.
see when he put his hands down, you know how he be moving. I see him getting popped in the face. with that jab.
With
And I
Sergio.
don't see whatchamacallit. No, he's not this foot. He know how to cut off the ring over here. I just see him after. I see Sergio winning the first 4 rounds, and after that take a terrible beating. I also see him going down at least twice this fight. Because that jab, when he puts his hands down, he's gonna get hit in the face by Mike McCallum with that jab.
Yeah.
So I got Mike McCallum possibly by a 9th round stop.
Sergio got the quicker hand speed.
Yeah.
But also them combinations, I think that's possibly when you go down from a body shot or maybe a headshot when he's throwing them combos. Huh?
That shit when he put his hands down would work against Mike McCallum.
Yeah. He does that to bait people to come in.
Yeah. Well, whatchamacallit with jab. When he goes there, he's gonna get jabbed.
Yeah, and McCallum's gonna throw it down to the body.
What's that?
And he had a good high work rate.
Yeah.
So did Sergio. Sergio had a work rate too.
Not as good as McCallum, no. Not as good as McCallum. McCallum being 12 rounds with everybody.
Yeah.
And he does it often as well. Sergio Martinez at 154, he was just knocking guys out in the first 2 rounds. Really, he just made his name off the Paul Williams knockout. That was it. That's not enough to beat McCallum, man. McCallum could fight in the pocket as well.
154 either though.
Huh?
That fight wasn't at 154 either.
Yeah.
That's why I got it. Because that 154 Charlie, he didn't really beat nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
He was supposed to fight Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest ducked him twice.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Sergio Martinez taking the L to the Jamaican. The great Argentine middleweight champion, Sergio, loses to a 3-division champion, all-time great fighter as well, Mike the Body Snatcher McCallum. So we move on. Who do we have next? Oh, we got this one right here. We got Saul Canoli Alvarez, WBC and WBO champion at 154 pounds, versus 2-time WBA light middleweight champion from Argentina, yet another Argentine, Julio Cesar Vasquez. How do you see this, Charlie?
This is probably for me so far the fight of the tournament.
Yeah, so far, absolutely, I agree.
And a lot of people that are younger, they won't have seen Julio Cesar Vasquez fight. So when I say this, it's going to sound strange. But Vasquez is going to beat the dog shit out of Canelo, man.
Oh.
And I got him. I thought because it's not 15 rounds.
Yeah. These are 12-round fighters.
I see that beating coming in around round 10. Canelo's feet are too slow, and Vasquez comes looking for you, comes hunting. He's a swarmer. Yeah. And he's a swarmer like no other. It's just because he was from when was he from? From the 70s?
No, he's from the 90s.
The 90s?
Yeah, he fought Winky Wright, Pernell Whitaker.
In late, he might have started. Yeah, he might have had a fight in late 80s, very late 80s. That I saw. But he dropped a lot of people, man.
Winky Wright, he dropped him down 3 times.
Yeah, the body shots as well. From Vasquez, man, he's too lethal for Canelo, and it's gonna sound strange to people that hear it, but I got Vasquez knocking him out in round 10, man.
Ooh, Canelo getting knocked out.
Yeah, because Canelo's got slow feet. He's not gonna be able to get away from the onslaught, and Vasquez is gonna smother him. Even though Canelo's got a good jab, maybe that might hold him in the fight for about the first 4 rounds, but after a while, Vasquez is gonna work him out and go to the body, start to throw the uppercuts as well, man. And he was relentless. He just kept punching. Yeah, I got him knocking out. I would have had him knocking out Canelo earlier, but I think Canelo's got a good jab, so he might be able to stay in there. But yeah, I got 10 rounds. He'll take a beating off Vasquez and get knocked out.
10th round knockout.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie lays down his vote. How do I see it? I see it. Look, I've seen this guy fight Winky Wright. I've seen him put him on the canvas like 7 times. You
Yeah,
know,
I knew it was. I thought it was more than that. I remember that fight though.
yeah. Winky was on the canvas all night. But the rounds Winky didn't hit the canvas, he was winning. But this
Yeah.
guy had some good power, pop shotting straight. That is, and he's a southpaw too. You know, he throws the jab straight lefts to the stomach, or if he has you in close quarters, he throws left and right hooks. You know what I'm saying? He's a mean puncher. You know, I think a guy with quick footwork can beat him, like how Pernell Whitaker took him to school. Pernell Whitaker looked like a little kid next to this big Argentine. You know what I mean? Um, I think he has some nice left uppercuts and left hooks. He's just a murderous puncher. You know what I mean? And I think Canoli would have trouble with this pressure style. You know what I mean? You know, I think that this guy would be all over Canoli. Canoli might catch him, and he might possibly hurt him with the counter punches. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's going to be a tough fight for him, you know, especially with the kind of power he has. He's dropped much better defensive fighters than the man Canoli. You know what I mean? Um, Canoli, I think he can have success, you know, counter punch you with the upper body movement. But this guy cuts off the ring well, and he's a southpaw. I've seen Canoli struggle with the southpaws with the likes of Lara and Austin Trout. You know, so I think Julio Cesar Vasquez at 154, a long time reigning champion, 2 time. I think he beats him as well. You know what I mean? And I think he beats him on a close split decision. You know, 7 rounds to 5, maybe even a draw. I think Canoli wins some rounds as well, but I think Julio Cesar Vasquez is just a type of fighter. Canoli, I don't think in real life, if he was doing the same weight class, I don't see him fighting him. You know what I mean? This ain't a Baldemir from Argentina. Nah, but remember, Baldemir was old when Canoli fought him, and Baldemir was a welterweight as opposed to a full-fledged junior middleweight. I think the Argentine wins this fight. Close split decision could go either way, but I think he's gonna have the more vicious punches. You know what I mean? You know, I think his left hand will be very deceptive, and he'll catch Canoli more times than not. With fair judging, I think this guy wins a close split decision, 7 rounds to 5. Julio Cesar Vasquez. Yes, indeed. How you see it, Chris Caban?
I think this will be a very. I think that being that it's randomized, I think this will be a very hard fight for
Mm,
Canelo.
yeah.
Because at 154, you got remember Canelo wasn't moving his feet like that.
No.
I can see him having trouble. I can see him getting busted up in this fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wouldn't be like the big. He wouldn't be like he was the bigger man. This dude is big too.
Yeah. And he ain't weight draining himself like Canoli is.
Yeah, and he look. I think he's taller than Canelo too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how tall he is.
Yeah, I believe he's taller than Canelo. I believe he might be a little bit taller. But he got decent stats. I think I got him winning. I got him winning by a split. I think Canelo can counterpunch him a little bit though.
Yeah.
But he just wouldn't let his hands enough to go for me to win.
All right, that's what I'm thinking. Cause this guy is you know, he don't throw one punch at a time. And if he does one punch at a time, that one punch will put your ass on the canvas.
Yeah, you saw what happened to Winky Wright when Winky Wright was in there with him.
Yeah, and the punches he caught Winky were one punch at a time. Maybe a jab in the left hand.
fight. This based on style matchup, not because you like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got him winning. I got Vasquez winning by split. See, we're a little bit different. We call it like we call it. We ain't call it based off the name
Names
and
got
stand.
nothing to do with this, with these lists to me.
Styles make fights.
Yeah, the names ain't fighting. It's the styles. Your name ain't gonna win you a fight. All right, so Chris Caban also has it as well as a split decision for Julio Cesar Vasquez. You picked Julio Cesar Vasquez already. Then let's keep it moving. Next round, we got Terry Norris versus Felix Trinidad. A fight that could have happened in real life in the late '90s or mid '90s.
Yeah.
How you see this one, Charlie?
I got Trinidad winning this one, man.
Ooh, 147. Trinidad coming up to 154.
And I also think Trinidad going to put him down a few times. Terry Norris didn't really have much of a good defense
Mm-hmm.
at 154 from what I can remember. I might have to watch a few more fights of his, but Trinidad to me had the work rate and the boxing ability and the stamina as well.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Norris kind of faded early. When he was beaten, in the fights he was beaten, he was faded kind of early. I see Trinidad outworking him and maybe even stopping him at the technical knockout.
Ooh.
Probably about round 10
Oh.
as well. Yeah.
So 10th round knockout for Trinidad.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I could dig it, man. Alright, how do I have it? Charlie lays down his vote. He's got Trinidad winning. This is a very good matchup right here. Fight could go either way, to be honest. I think Terry Norris was a good combination of power and speed, hand speed, combination punching. And I think that would give the man Trinidad trouble, you know what I mean? And he'd probably drop Trinidad, you know what I'm saying? Tons of heart, and I think he gets off the canvas, and he himself could possibly drop Terry Norris. You know, Terry Norris don't got a jaw to me. I don't care what nobody say. I see him under canvas numerous times. I see Terry
Well,
Norris also get frustrated and maybe being deducted a point after he drops Trinidad by hitting him after when he's on the canvas, you know what I mean? Or, just doing some dirty tactics like he's known to do, and that could cost him some points, you know what I mean? And I think Terry Norris will be winning the rounds, but I think he'll get caught at some point. And I think Trinidad, he's a murderous puncher with the left hook, and I think he'll catch the man at some point. I just believe so. And I probably see Trinidad. I rate Terry Norris, of course, body of work overall as a greater light middleweight champion than Trinidad. Absolutely, I got Terry Norris in the top two or top three. If you have him as number one all-time greatest light middleweight, I ain't mad at you. He's put in the work. He has names. He has won titles and lost them again and got them back. Numerous title defenses at 154. But I think Trinidad is a very mean puncher, man, and I don't believe in Terry Norris' jaw. I just don't. And I think Trinidad can overcome anything Terry Norris brings, can get off the canvas and come back and win. And I think he wins this fight. Trinidad, he wins this fight via 11th round stoppage. I think he will stop Terry Norris. Coming up in weight, I think he will with a left hook from hell. 11th round stoppage, Terry Norris on his feet. Abel Sanchez will come in and stop the fight, throw in the towel. That's how I see it. Terry Norris will take a L and to Trinidad. How you see it,
Oh,
Chris?
I got it'll be a tale of two fights for me right here. I
Uh-huh.
got Terry Noyes outboxing Tito for at least 5 or 6 rounds. I got Tito start because Tito had trouble with that Terry Noyes type of style. But I also see Terry Noyes falling apart. And I even got Terry Noyes around.
You think Terry Norris wins by a round?
No, I say I got him drunk. Not this fight. No, I ain't finished with the prediction. I say I got him dropped. Tito.
Okay.
The first half of the fight is going to be Terry Noyes winning with his boxing skills and boxing move.
Mm-hmm.
But I also see second half of the fight, Tito coming on like a Terminator and knock him down. And I see Terry Noyes fighting the wrong fight. I don't think he can be disciplined for 12 rounds with Tito without getting hit.
I absolutely agree, man.
I got him knocking Tito down though, probably in round 5, and I got Tito making the definite to round 6. Then I got him beating the man Terry Noyes, so I got him stopping him in the 11th round.
11th?
Yeah.
That's how I see it too, man. I think the man will do some kind of mistake where, he's gonna get a pounding, gonna get a beating, and I think his corner gonna stop the fight because of the mistakes. And this is style make
My
fights.
thoughts was like Melvin Taylor pulling the snap, he can box, but not fight.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a bad mistake.
Yep. He beat the shit out of Maldrick Taylor too in real life.
That was Taylor fighting at 154.
Yeah, he brought him up. I think they fought at a catchweight, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, 150.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. So there you got it. Chris Caban also got Terry Norris getting knocked out by Felix Trinidad. And look, man, styles make fights. You know, of course, Terry Norris has accomplished way more than Trinidad at 154. But styles make fights, and this would have been a good fight if they met prime for prime. Okie doke. What's the next one? What are we looking at? The next round we have Winky Wright. Ronald Winky Wright versus the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya. Winky Wright undisputed at 154. Had every single title there. Versus De La Hoya, who himself was a unified champion and also a two-time champion at 154. Winky Wright versus De La Hoya. How you see that, Charlie Brown?
I got Winky right knocking out De La Hoya.
Woo! Mm.
His style's all too wrong for De La Hoya, man.
Mm-hmm.
Southpaw, tall, could use a jab, could close the distance really quick. Had boxing IQ, had chin, had heart, was fit,
Mm-hmm.
athletic. Just all wrong for De La Hoya, man. I got a late stoppage for Winky Wright, probably in round 11 or 12. I'd say 12. Round 12.
Great stoppage. Ooh, you see him knocking out Oscar De La Hoya. Stopping him?
Yeah. I see De La Hoya controlling maybe first 3 to 4 rounds
Yeah.
behind the jab and outboxing him. But I see Winky Wright figuring him out
Mm-hmm.
and coming strong and starting to counter punch because he was a good counter puncher as well. He could pretty much do it all. He was a complete fighter, Winky Wright,
Yeah.
Very underestimated, very underrated. His style's all wrong for De La Hoya. The height, the reach, the southpaw stance. And De La Hoya was better at welterweight, I think, personally. Yeah, I don't think he was good enough at 154. Pacquiao being at welterweight. Yeah, he went down to that. But I just, De La Hoya, although he won a gold medal and that, a professional boxer. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was almost like a throwback. It was like a throwback. He had throwback skills. He was tough. Just all wrong for De La Hoya. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got it like actually I got it 11 rounds KO for Winky Red.
Ooh, KO. All
Yeah.
right. 11th round KO. Charlie Brown lays down his vote. All right. This is a tough one, man. You know, these two guys should have fought in real life. When De La Hoya was a unified champ at 154, he could have fought Winky for undisputed, but he went for the rematch with Shane Mosley. A more money fight, absolutely, and Winky Wright wasn't the money fight. I guess that's why he went. That's why you got to give Shane Mosley props. Say what you want about Mosley in his career. At least he gave Winky Wright an opportunity when nobody else would. And he lost, and they did it again, and he lost. But no shame in his game. He lost to a natural 154 pounder, the last undisputed under 54 pounder, a great fighter. I think both guys are about the same height and same arm reach. You know, 5'10". Um, I think Winky Wright could win this fight, and so could Oscar De La Hoya. You know, I think De La Hoya has better movement, lateral movement than Winky Wright. Winky Wright got the better defense, the high guard, tuck in the elbows. You can't hit him to the body. You can barely hit him to the face. But De La Hoya, I think, got the better left hook. What's his name? And possibly the better jab. And I mean, than Winky Wright. But Winky Wright will walk his opponent down in that high guard, blocking and evading shots, throwing straight lead left hands, right hooks. I think De La Hoya will lose this fight probably because of doing too much movement and too much lateral movement and running. And he'll be throwing combinations, but I think I think Winky Wright will make him miss a lot of punches. You know what I mean? I think the only effective punches he might be able to catch Winky Wright with are jabs. And I see the man Winky Wright walking him down, taking also some punches in the face because Winky Wright got a jaw. He got dropped 7 times by the Argentine in France, Julio Cesar Vasquez, but he got up every single time and still made it to the final decision, final bell. I think Winky Wright will just be too much as far as cutting off the ring. De La Hoya will be trying to move too much, and he'll try to throw punches, trying to steal rounds. But I think anybody watching the fight knows you ain't do nothing really for the 2.5 minutes before you start trying to steal the 30 seconds of every single round. You know what I mean? And I think defense will win the fight. The walking down, the more crispier flush lead left hands, right hooks, the body shots. And I think Winky Wright wins this particular fight. A close split decision as well. Split maybe majority decision. It'll be controversial, I believe. You know what I mean? And just like most of Winky Wright's biggest fights, controversy. You know what I mean? And I think he will finally get the nod. It'll go his way because of a lot of decisions on his resume have not gone his way, although I thought he won. This time, if I'm a judge, you'll get the victory from me because I think he'll put in and do enough work. We make him De La Hoya miss punches. De La Hoya will be on his bicycle too much, and Winky Wright will be the effective aggressor, and he'll win the fight via close split decision, 7 rounds to 5. The 5 rounds De La Hoya will win is because of the shoe shine punches, combinations in and out, some nice left hooks. But he's gonna abandon the game plan when Winky Wright just keeps stalking his opponent. 7-5 for Winky Ronald Wright.
I'm a little controversial in this fight. I can see De La Hoya still in this fight doing bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you why. I got De La Hoya to win. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's a mythical matchup. We going by what we think will happen.
Right.
But I got him. I can sneak around. But De La Hoya, he got a habit. You watch him fight when he does that little shoot shot. No matter what he did that round, he'll throw his hands up like he want to go. He get the crowd up like that, like make it look like he doing more than what he actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he could play the judges with doing it like he did it. Like he did in some fight. Like Ike Forte fight, he do rounds Ike Forte right. He performed like a champion. He try to fight the last minute of the round.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I like Winky Wright, but Winky Wright have a tendency to take rounds off too.
True.
And I think them rounds he take off, I think them the rounds De La Hoya would try to steal. But I got it. De La Hoya really losing the fight, but it'll be a split. But I think the judges can be influenced by that little shoe shot shit.
Yeah, I'm not. That's why I'm including us three as the judges.
Okay.
You know,
You know,
because
like
I know that's why I picked. Yeah.
I ain't no judge. I'm going by what happened, probably happened.
Mm-hmm.
I got Winky, but he lost anyway because y'all both didn't do it.
Yeah, I think Winky Wright was just a greater fighter at this weight class, a natural 154 pounder who's had decisions not go his way, even when he went up in weight. And I think this time he will get his nod. The boxing public will finally, judging will give him his dues, and I think he beats De La Hoya. But in real life, he'll probably get robbed.
Yep.
I see that.
Only got away with getting the judges on his side because, like, even with the Floyd fight, I thought he lost that fight clearly.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fight.
I thought he lost to Floyd clearly, and they said it was a split decision. And that just gives people, till this day, it gives them the energy to say Floyd lost to De La Hoya. How? Look, it was a split decision.
But that's that shit Ray Leonard shit. 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And I'm not going to ignore what he did all throughout.
That's me too. And a lot of people going crazy over it. They wouldn't land it clean.
Yeah.
But I got him still to fight like that. But right, advance 2-1.
Okie doke. So there you have it. Winky Wright advances. De La Hoya goes back to East Los. Goes back to East Los Angeles. Okie doke. I don't know why this joint blurry. It's not showing the screen really. Oh well. All right. Next round we got Julian Jackson, 154-pound champion for like 3 years. WBA. He beat the Korean guy. I think he beat Inchal Bayek to win the title, and he vacated. He never lost as a champion. He had lost to McCallum before he became a champ, but then he became a champ after he lost to McCallum, and then he vacated to move up to greener pastures. He beat Terry Norris at 154 too, so Julian Jackson was a bad man at 154 versus the African, the Ugandan guy based out of, I think he was based out of Sweden, somewhere in Scandinavia land. Sweden or Finland or Norway, one of those. But Ayub Kalule, lineal champ, WBA champion for many years at 154 pounds. Finally lost his title to an all-time great in Ray Leonard. How you see that fight going down, Charlie?
I see Julian Jackson knocking out man.
Oh yeah.
2 rounds, man.
Woo!
The power's way too much for
The
him.
power's real, huh? The power's real.
Yeah. Julian Jackson, one of the hardest punches in boxing.
Yes.
That guy, he was champion for a long time, but he didn't really fight. He fought Leonard, but he didn't really fight anybody that I could remember.
He got Sambu Kalambe. He beat him. Mike McCallum was the first man to beat Ayub Kalule. But He's a good champion, long time champion.
Yeah, I just don't remember anyone he really beat. But not just that, stylistically as well, he didn't have much of a higher work rate from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And Julian Jackson just gonna walk down whatever he brings. That guy he clinched a lot as well, from what I remember. That guy, I remember he used to clinch quite a bit. Julian Jackson gonna walk him down, man, behind the jab, behind the sharp jab, and he's gonna knock him out early, man.
Okay.
He's very powerful, Julian Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous at 154, man.
Yeah.
One of the most dangerous fighters I've seen. So for those listening, again, study Julian Jackson first, then you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. The Kalule didn't look strong enough. His jaw wasn't that good. His chin wasn't that good either. He's getting knocked out early, man. Julian Jackson, 2 rounds. I got it.
Two second round knockout for Julian Jackson. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. I also got the murderous puncher Julian Jackson, man. One of the hardest hitters in life in boxing. And one of the hardest hitters to lace up a pair of gloves. I could see Ayub Kalula outboxing him. Something like what Harold Graham was doing. But this fight ain't going no more than 4 rounds. It's only a matter of time. Julian Jackson don't go 12. He's either getting stopped in 5 or he's stopping you in 5. That's just what he does. You know what I mean? Ask Gerald the G-Man. He was landing some punches on G-Man, but it don't go long. His fights don't go long. You know what I mean? Um, I think Ayub Kalule will be outboxing him using his length and reach, and keep pop shotting and keeping the man at bay. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that the man, Julian Jackson, goes with either hand, left hook, or straight right hand. He's a murderous puncher. And I think he knocks out Ayub Kalule in the fourth round. I think in the fourth round, maybe fifth round, knockout. And I think he puts him to sleep. I seriously do. None against Ayub Kalule. I like the guy. He's a guy from Uganda. Uganda has had many world champions in boxing history. It's probably out of East Africa, they've produced the most world champions. They haven't had one in a while. I think, was Sharif Bogore a world champion? Was he a world champion at one point? I can't remember. I don't think so. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But anyways, I think Ayub Kalule goes night night, man. Gotta get him the smelling salts. I think Julian Jackson will catch him with one punch. It won't be combinations. It'll be a mean left hook from hell or a straight right hand, one of the two, and it will lay him out. Fourth to fifth round KO. No stoppage thing for Julian Jackson. How you see it, Chris?
I think Kalua can outbox him for a little while.
Mm.
Give Julian Jackson some problems, but I don't think him tagged around 5. So
Mm-hmm.
he get caught around 5 and stop.
Absolutely, I agree, man. They ain't going no more than 5. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and the way he used to fight, man, he was a lone champion, but when he fought the big ones he lost.
Ukalule?
Yeah.
Yeah, but people don't forget about that fight with Ray Leonard, man. Ray Leonard ain't washed that guy 9 rounds to zip. Dude won some rounds versus him. He was a big super middleweight with
I
Ray
agree.
Leonard coming up, and he won some rounds. But it was just he got caught with a mistake in the ninth round. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was being battered, accumulation. He made a mistake, and Ray Leonard caught him, and he dropped him. He got up. Ray Leonard finished him.
Yeah, but I don't think the take 9 was doing that.
Nah, he ain't going 9. Nah, you're not going 9.
Yeah.
And he's not knocking out Julian Jackson, who I do believe. Don't he, I believe Julian Jackson ain't got a jaw neither. Look, I'm not hating on the guy. I'm a
But
fan, but
we gotta give him a book though. Julian Jackson, he ain't like Tommy Hearns, but Julian Jackson was knocked out by punches.
yeah. But even
Yeah,
that last fight, his punch resistance. That
yeah.
fight was the guy who beat him. Not Andrew Council. What's the guy? Quincy Taylor. The last
Quincy Taylor now Sugar you in that
in
sparring when he was getting
sparring.
ready for the Hagler fight.
Absolutely, he did. But just when he gets touched once, it just changed the fight and
Yeah. He got knocked out by big punches
big
just by point.
punches. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
McCallum caught him. Yeah.
Got a good knockout rate and
But
over 150.
at least can you lose a fight by decision? Every single fight was by KO.
Unless he fought the wrong people though. He forgot that man went in there with murderous punches.
He
It
did.
ain't like Terry Lewis who get knocked out by Keith Mullins.
And Troy Waters.
Yeah, that's different power.
Even though he won, but Troy Waters almost knocked him out. Had him on Queer Street bad.
Yeah, look at like imagine if Terry Lewis got hit by them guys.
Yeah, man. But he got caught by Julian Jackson. He got put to sleep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, man, we got Julian Jackson from the Virgin Islands advancing. Sorry, Ayub Kalule. He's gone. Battle Rifle, what's up? Battle Rifle? Battle Rifle's in the chat. Big ups to Battle Rifle. Absolutely. Thanks for coming through. He says, who in the tournament? Jackson. Who? What's the matchup? These the matchups right here, man. We going along. I'm going along with them as we go along. And next up, we got Wilfredo Benitez versus John David Jackson. Wilfredo Benitez, WBC champion in the early 80s. He beat Maurice Hope and lost his title to Tommy Hitman Hearns versus John David Jackson. I can't tell you nothing about John David Jackson at 154. I'm going to keep it tall with y'all. I don't know who he beat, and I don't know who he lost to or who he beat for a title.
They should have fought Terry Lewis at the weight class at that time though. That fight never happened.
You know, to be honest, in those days, if you had a WBO belt, them other champions ain't care about you. It's just the
Yeah,
truth.
because that WBL back in them days, the title defenses was weak opposition.
It was. And
Especially at heavyweight.
even in order to get a unification with the WBO belt back when, you'd have to vacate your WBO belt in order to fight a champion from another sanctioning body. Remember, like what's the guy's name? Michael Moore had a WBO belt at heavyweight that he beat Burr Cooper. But in order to fight Holyfield, he had to vacate that WBO belt because the WBA didn't recognize WBO champions. So you can't.
Let's just say this: in the '90s, Francisco Delami was heavyweight champion of the WBO.
Yeah, with the WBO, yeah. Yep, Francisco Damiani from Italy.
In the '90s.
Yep. And he never fought for no sanctioning body belt. He got beat by Ray Mercer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into it. So John David Jackson versus Wilfred Benitez.
His biggest, I'm gonna go with Benitez because
It's Charlie's go. Yeah.
See, initially when I first saw this, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works as well, because initially when I first saw this matchup, I thought there's no way John David is beating Benitez.
Mm-hmm.
But the height, I think John David Jackson was taller, much taller. From what I remember, Benitez is kind of small, and Benitez, he was a good boxer, but he was more on the back foot.
Mm-hmm.
He would throw combinations on the back foot, yeah. Not much power. He had power, but not enough power to frighten John David Jackson. Plus, Jackson was southpaw, I think.
So it's Benitez.
Yeah, but
You know he dropped Tommy
Benitez
Hearns at
did it.
154 too, right, Charlie?
Who's that?
Benitez dropped Tommy Hearns at 154.
Yeah, but Tommy Hearns didn't have good legs though. Even though he was tall, he didn't have a good chin because he didn't have legs. Tommy Hearns was a good boxer, but Tommy Hearns could get knocked out by anybody, knocked off balance because he's too tall and he didn't have good legs. A lot of people overrate that fact about Tommy Hearns. I got John David Jackson stopping Benitez, man. He's just too big. He's too big, and not just that. John Jackson was very defensive, man.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, ultra defensive, and so was Benitez. But Benitez is not as strong, not as big and strong as John David. It's a bad style matchup. And see, a lot of people probably thinking about you have to go and watch tapes of John David. He's an excellent trainer, and he was a good defensive boxer as well, man.
Weight class champion too.
I know he had that little jerry curl on his head and all of that at the beginning. Then he let that shit get nappy in that.
That's natural. That wasn't Joe Jericho. That was natural.
No, it was natural. It was natural, yeah. No, but at some point, yeah, Jericho, man, come on, man.
Nah, that's Keith Thurman, real daddy. That's Keith Thurman, real daddy.
But no, on the serious tip, man. Also, John David, he threw more combinations, man. He had a higher work rate. He was a better boxer than Benitez as well, man.
I don't know about that. At 154.
I know people are gonna think crazy, but you need to watch. I'm gonna keep it real funky. He's just too big for Benitez, man. He'd have stopped Benitez in about 8 rounds. He threw a mean left hook to the body as well, and he could pivot round his opponent, and he was good, man. He was really good, you know.
Yeah, he was, especially at one.
Yeah.
To me, I know him from 160.
And I reckon he could have beaten quite a few good middleweights as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't give him, like I said, they didn't give him a shot because he didn't reign his title.
Did Tony fight John David Jackson?
No, but no, Hopkins beat him.
B-Hop did.
Yeah. I reckon him and Tony would have been a really good fight.
If you look at the B-Hop, but no Hopkins fight, he wasn't that big, Charlie. He was like a small dude. He kind of small.
Man. He kind of fights him.
He's a small guy. He ain't no big dude. He ain't with no big middleweight.
But he's bigger than Benitez, man.
They were about the same size. He just got longer reach.
Benitez about 5'10".
Yeah, but they about the same size, Charlie.
He was bigger than they might be the same height, but he was bigger.
He's probably bigger in body mass, cause
way bigger.
If you look at middleweight when he fight Reggie Johnson and Bernard Hopkins and Castro, he was small.
Yeah, I got him stopping Benitez, man. 8 rounds, I have, man.
Well, I agree with you. The style matchup, though, people when they do their tournaments, I heard they were basing it off the names and shit.
Yeah, I ain't basing off of names. Styles make fights. So Charlie, how you see it, man? You got Benitez getting stopped in 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Woo, okay. All right. Charlie lays down his vote. I personally, look, John. Oh, we got people in the chat. Big up the Battle Rifle. He was saying, what's the matchup? The matchup we're talking about right now is John David Jackson at 154 versus Wilfred Benitez at 154. We got Wood, Stay Real TV. What the deal? Wood, what's happening? He says, Winky, the only fighter I see beating Mayweather. Battle Rifle says he could make this statement. He could make the statement that Jackson is, what do you mean, MO? Uh, a better boxer than Benitez.
Jackson is 5'11" as well. He's taller than Benitez. Definitely. I just checked it. Online.
All right, so let me
He
give
is
my
taller,
vote.
man.
I think Benitez will outbox John David Jackson. I think John David Jackson's best attributes. He was a good defensive fighter. I give him that. I think he was a good defensive fighter, and I think he can slip some punches. But Benitez, I think, has just got better defense, and I think he's a better counterpuncher on the inside, and even from the outside. I think he's tall enough to catch him from distance. I think it'll be a close fight, and I really rate John David Jackson on defense, but I gotta go with Wilfred Benitez. I think he wins a close fight, probably 7 rounds to 5, but a unanimous decision at 154. I think he's just fought better caliber fighters. I don't know none of the guys John David Jackson fought at 154. I just knew he was a 154 champion not too long ago. I always known him to be a 160-pound champ.
He didn't miss out on that fight with Terry Norris and them guys down there doing the best.
Yeah. Yep. So I got a unanimous decision for the the Ministry of Defense, Wilfred Benitez.
I got this fight. I got this fight for us. Like this fight, Boston fans. But like most guys, like the current guys watching it, they like the blood and guts fight. They wouldn't like this. They'll think this. Because they two defensive fighters.
Yeah, two defensive fighters. Yep.
Other people, this wouldn't be. It ain't gonna be no exciting match. It's gonna be a chess match.
Mhm.
But the chess match, I got Benitez by split decision. It's close as hell.
Split decision.
Yeah, it can go either way because my man can box. Go back and watch his fights. He can box, and he was
Yeah.
on the hit too.
Mhm.
So I got it winning by split decision. It could go either way.
All right, that's two right there for the man.
Is that the Wood that we used to talk to back in the day? Wood Boston from Baltimore.
Yeah, that's Wood from B-more
He
410.
keep changing it. He keep changing his name. That's why I ain't recognize him. What's up, Wood?
Yeah, Wood always changes his YouTube channel, man. But
Yeah, that's why I can't find it. I was subscribed.
you know, sometimes how with Wood, like, cause I listen to almost all the videos he puts out. So maybe you go through days or a week or so, and you look through your timeline, and you're like, damn, I haven't seen a video of Wood. Then you might go check his channel. It ain't there no more. Just type in Wood Baltimore, man, boxing. A new channel, Wood Baltimore Boxing. A new channel will pop up. You know what I mean? Big ups to
Yeah.
Wood. Wood, you've been maintaining this channel you got right now for a little bit, though. I salute you on that, man. Keep it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was subscribed to 2 channels before that. Yeah. Then he started making videos on one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Battle Rifles in the chat and he says that's a very hard matchup. I think I'll pick Benitez by majority decision. I ain't mad at that neither. I think it'll be a close fight, man. Absolutely.
They two defense, so both of them got the same kind of style.
Yep. All right, so that's the end of round one.
In a boring matchup.
Round two. Round two, we in the quarterfinals, y'all. We got Landy Lara advancing. Who did we have? No, we had Harry Simon, 2-1, 2-1. We had a 2-1 split decision for Harry Simon to beat Landy Lara, and he moves on. And Tommy Hearns, obviously, he destroyed Fernando Vargas. So quarterfinals round, first round matchup, we got Harry Simon from Namibia, WBO 154-pound champ, versus Tommy the Hitman Hearns, WBC 154-pound champion. How you see it, Charlie?
Because Harry Simon getting knocked out, man.
Ooh.
Stopped early. A little bit like ran. Styles may fight. It's a bad matchup for Harry Simon, even though he's offensive.
Yeah.
His work rate is Tommy Hearns gonna start sitting on his punches after about round 2. I could see him catching him. Yeah, Tommy Hearns had a way of, especially at 154, throwing those kind of hooks and uppercuts where he'd just hook. He'd throw it a certain way because he was so tall.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to catch Harry Simon with the uppercut quite a lot. I could see Harry Simon knocked out, man. Probably about three to 4 rounds in that.
Ooh.
Yeah, Tommy Hearns had a little too much for him, and he had the height as well and the footwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Harry Simon could probably catch him and wobble Hearns. Hearns could equally get knocked out in this fight, but I don't think he's going to have enough to do it. Tommy Hearns' arms were just too long as well.
Yeah. All right.
I do see Tommy Hearns getting rocked by a single shot. It's not going to be enough. He had a way of looping his uppercut.
Yeah.
It's like he threw it like a hook, and then he just bring it up. And I see him catching Harry Simon with that a lot. Yeah, I got Hearns knocking out Harry Simon early, probably about 4 rounds.
All right. So there you go. Charlie lays it down. He got his pick. Third, fourth round knockout for Tommy Hearns knocking out Harry Simon. Harry the Terminator Simon. All right. I also have Tommy Hearns winning this fight, but probably by decision. I think this guy's undefeated. You know, Harry Simon till this day ain't never lost a fight. Two different weight class champion. His career obviously got derailed because he had to go to prison for vehicular homicide. You know, and he had to vacate his WBO strap. You know, and this was a time when fights with Bernard Hopkins were on the table. You know what I mean? You know, Don King was trying to make a little tournament on Showtime with B Hop, and this is 2002 before B Hop fought Calzaghe in '08. He was trying to have a tournament on Showtime with Calzaghe, B Hop, Harry Simon, and I forgot who the fourth person was. You know what I mean? But B Hop looked like he ain't want no smoke with Calzaghe, and that's why Don King always he said about B Hop. B Hop the type of person to win the lottery, but try go cash in the winning lottery ticket when it's expired. That's it. Basically trying to say, man, he left a lot of money on the table, not fighting guys like Harry Simon and Calzaghe in '02. But that's neither here nor there. We talk about this matchup right here, and I think Harry Simon got an iron cast jaw. He's gonna come forward. I think Tommy Hearns will throw them whiplash left hooks to the liver, straight right hands down the pipe. It's gonna be hard for Harry Simon to get on the inside, try to get through that jab, and I see him just getting peppered, you know, with all kind of straight right hands, left hooks to the liver. You know what I'm saying? Uppercuts, like Charlie Brown said. Charlie uppercuts work perfectly for both a short guy and a tall guy, and I could see the tall guy just unleashing vicious, mean right uppercuts with Harry Simon trying to stalk his opponent, trying to get on the inside, you know. So I think it's going to be a difficult fight for the man, Harry Simon, and I see him losing this particular fight. Um, I see him losing this fight to Tommy the Hitman Hearns 9 rounds to 3. I think it's going to be difficult for him, you know. Harry Simon throws punches and bunches combinations, and he's not particularly like a brawler. I think he's a methodical volume puncher, you know what I mean? Who is not going to leave himself vulnerable to get KO'd. But he's fighting one of the greatest offensive fighters, period, of all time. And I think it's just a bad matchup. And I think he gets, no, he ain't going to get stopped. But I think 9 rounds to 3 in favor of Tommy Hitman Hearns over Harry Simon.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with the panel. Harry Simon, like he almost cost himself that Winky Wright fight. You know I had him winning. He almost made Winky Wright get back in the fight. So he takes rounds off too.
Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't be able to do that at 154 against Tommy Hearns. I think Tommy Hearns think Tommy Hearns hits a lot harder than Winky Wright.
Yes, by
And
far.
I think he wouldn't swarm Tommy Hearns like he did Winky Wright because the power difference.
Yeah.
Because that damn 154, Tommy Hearns was knocking motherfuckers out. But I'm gonna go with you gave 9 rounds of three. I'm gonna say 8-4 Hearns. Because I think whatchamacallit will win some rounds, but when he start tasting Tommy Hearns' power, he ain't gonna come in. He ain't gonna try to come in like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, sorry. I put the volume down by
got
mistake.
Tommy Hearns 8-4.
8-4 in favor of Tommy the Hitman Hearns for.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Tommy Hitman Hearns. Motor City Cobra is advancing. What fella's saying in the chat? He says honest, or is that battle rifle? He says honestly, I don't know the other fighter. Which one you talking about? You talking about
I'm
John
talking
Davis?
about Harry Simon.
Yeah. Or he might be talking about the previous matchup with John David Jackson. Maybe he's talking
Go
about,
back and watch them. They got some fights on YouTube.
yeah. He's either talking about one or the other, Harry Simon or John David Jackson. Okay. So Tommy Hearns advances. All right. Next round we have Mike McCallum versus Julio Cesar Vasquez. Mike McCallum, WBA 154-pound champion versus longtime two-time champion at 154 pounds WBA, Argentine, Julio Cesar Vasquez. So how you see it, Charlie? The Jamaican versus the Argentine.
Yeah, this fight can go one of two ways. It's either going to be a boring kind of counter punch, clinch and jab from McCallum, where he fights on the outside. The thing I see, the other fight I see is Vasquez going after him, cutting off the ring early, and just staying with him, just giving him constant pressure. If Vasquez does that and he's able to start off quickly against McCallum, then he might beat McCallum, might knock him out. But if McCallum can stay on the outside and use his boxing IQ and his footwork, it might be enough to cause this guy problems.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, sometimes McCallum, he was busy against someone like people like Tony and that. But to beat Vasquez, you got to have some good combinations and some hand speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Vasquez just edging this one, 7 rounds to 5.
Ooh, 7-5.
Yeah, a split decision.
7-5 split decision. A lot of split decisions and close fights in this particular tournament. Probably more than any that we've done so far. That shows very good matchups, you know what I mean? Fights you gotta think about. So Charlie got split decision victory for Julio Cesar Vasquez. All right, how do I see it? The Mike McCallum and the Argentine. I think Mike McCallum, man, slightly got quicker hand speed. I think he has a nice left hook and a nice jab. Definitely a better body puncher than Julio Cesar Vasquez. Julio Cesar Vasquez he's good at cutting off the ring. You know what I mean? Good combination puncher, but he's not like a pure boxer combination puncher. He's a guy really trying to overwhelm you with size and strength and power. And I think Mike McCallum will know how to nullify that as far as, he's fought the Julian Jackson, and 154, and he knocked out Julian Jackson. He didn't wash Julian Jackson. That fight only went like 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. I think I might have gave 2 rounds of the first 2 rounds to Julian Jackson till Mike McCallum caught him. You know what I mean? I think Mike McCallum will be definitely be the boxer in this situation. You know what I mean? It's my uh, his footwork might not be as good, or it might be on the same level, or slightly. Julio Cesar Vasquez has the advantage because of how Julio Cesar Vasquez cuts off the ring and throws punches in bunches. But I think those punches in bunches will get him caught with some flush lead right hands in there, the double jab left hook to the liver to stop the man Vasquez in his tracks. Um, and Mike McCallum just pivoting out of there after he catches him with the combination, trying to make the man reset. And I can see a lot of clinching as well from both guys, like Charlie Brown mentioned. But I think Mike McCallum's the better fighter. I think he wins this particular fight probably 8 rounds to 4. I think he wins a unanimous decision. I think he beats Julio Cesar Vasquez in a tough fight where a lot of people weren't sure whether he can handle the pressure. But I think he wins a close, 8 rounds to 4. Tough unanimous decision, you know what I mean? Where he's going to go through, he's going to go through some adversity, but he will make the necessary adjustments. And that's probably to counter, catch him with the 1-2 left hook to the liver, or double jab left hook to the liver, and then probably clinch, make the guy reset and start all over. And I think he'll have the advantage and be the victor. 8 rounds to 4 for the body snatcher, Mike McCallum. Yes, sir. How you see it, Chris?
I'm gonna go with a different little fellas because Vasquez has been stopped by more more than one time by lesser opponents.
Oh yeah, who
So
stopped him? I seen Laurent Bundwani stop him.
somebody else stopped him.
Yeah, but when Laurent Bundwani had stopped him,
That was 2000. That was later on
he
though.
was past
I
it. He
think.
had been a champion from '93.
Yeah, but fighting Mike McCallum and with the opponents he fought, he would try to put pressure on Mike McCallum. I don't think that'll be a good idea.
Yeah.
Putting pressure, he's gonna get caught with some punches. He's gonna get caught. He's gonna get caught trying the style he fight, the way he fights. I don't see him. He's gonna get caught with a lot of mean shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I see him getting stopped by knife. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see him going the distance with that type of style he fights against Mike McCallum.
Ooh, so you see a stoppage.
Yeah, Mike McCallum by stoppage, 9 round 9. He's tough as hell, but he gonna fight the wrong. That's the wrong style to fight Mike McCallum.
9 rounds to 3 in
He's gonna get
favor.
knocked out with a knife.
True indeed. All right, so we got 2 for McCallum and one for the body. I'm sorry, Julio Cesar Vasquez. Sorry, Julio Cesar Vasquez. The body snatcher advances. All right, next round. We've got Felix Trinidad versus Winky Wright. Fights we didn't get to see.
See you later, Tito.
Fights we didn't get to see. How you see that, Charlie?
Yeah, I got Trinidad getting knocked out, man.
Woo!
Yeah, man. He ain't getting past 5 rounds
Mm-hmm.
with Winky Wright, man. Yeah. Yeah, he's all wrong. He's all wrong for Trinidad.
Yeah, this is a bad match. This is gonna be a replay of the same fight again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him doing it early 5th round KO.
that Trinidad who came back to boxing was out of the ring for a while too.
Yeah, but I don't see no version of Trinidad beating Winky Wright at 154.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. So Charlie, you got him getting what? Knocked out?
Yep.
You don't think the man got any shot?
No.
No.
It's a bad matchup, man. It's a bad matchup.
All right. So Charlie got his vote in. And you said how you see it?
Fifth round KO.
Fifth round KO. All right. I think this fight will probably go like it did in real life. I think Trinidad ain't gonna beat Winky Wright. I think Winky Wright beats him via unanimous decision. Just a better boxer, better defense. You know, his jab and straight left hand. He's just gonna be able to counter the man and just win on points. No matter if the guy had been out the ring for a while or was yeah, I mean Winky Wright. I'm sorry, Trinidad. I still think Winky Wright wins the fight. And I think he wins a unanimous decision like he did in real life. He'll beat him on points. I got Winky Wright beating Felix Trinidad. How you see it, Chris?
I see a replay of the same fight, man. Same fight all over again. I don't think he knocks Tito. I think Tito can go the distance, but I think Tito won't win no rounds like he did the first fight.
Yeah, me too.
Why you did? He gonna lose every round.
Okay.
It don't matter what he do, cause he got bad footwork, and when he tried to do something, what Winky Wright can just cover up and jab him,
Yeah.
and then he can make Tito reset again by moving him.
Mm-hmm.
He can't beat Winky Wright. He should have never came back to fight Winky Wright.
Yeah, I
Should have
know.
retired after he
I
knocked
think he
out
had beat
Mayorga.
Mayorga before Winky
Yeah.
Wright. Yeah, because Trinidad has three losses in his life: to B Hop, Winky Wright, and Roy Jones.
And I picked all three of them to win except for B-Hop. Like when that fight was made at that time, that was 2001. That was right when the towers blew up.
Right. Yeah.
Um, at that time, like, because Bernard, he was the executioner. He was coming forward before
Mm-hmm.
that. He was known as the executioner. He was knocking people out. So I like, oh, he gonna fight the wrong fight. He got in the ring. He made Tito look fucking stupid.
Yeah, I picked Trinidad to win like a dummy. I felt stupid. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but that shows Bernard Hopkins know how to make adjustments though. Before that, he was the executioner.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I didn't say like what the fuck? He looked like Floyd in there.
I know, right?
Man could not land the left hook. He could not. And at that time,
He took his left
Bernard was
hook
36
away.
years old.
Yeah, he took his left hook away.
Yeah, man couldn't let no left hook. You see Tito's face. You remember when Tito had him against the ropes and tried to choke him with his forearm?
Yep.
He frustrated Tito.
Yeah,
They couldn't land no punches.
true indeed.
His boxes, slick boxes move. All three losses was them type of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
He really lost to De La Hoya, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was rooting for Tito, but I thought De La Hoya won.
Yeah.
All right, so Felix Trinidad loses to Winky Wright just like he did in real life. Okay, so that's how we got it. Let's keep it moving. Who do we have next? We got Julian Jackson, the Hawk, versus the Ministry of Defense, Wilfredo Benitez. How you see that one, Charlie?
Um, boy, well, Benitez has gone far to come this far, but he's getting knocked out. He's getting stopped early, man.
Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
mm.
Even though he was the defensive boxer and he had a style that could beat Jackson, man. Again, the power difference for me.
Ah.
With leverage or without leverage in the legs, Julian Jackson could hit hard. It was one of them punches that could just knock you out from his forearm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys like that. And they're not even necessarily very heavy-handed. But they just shoot the power from the forearm as well as the leverage in the legs, man. I got him knocking out Benitez, man. Yeah, I got it happening early in 5 round.
What round?
Round 5.
Fifth round knockout for Julian the Hawk Jackson. All right, let me go. Let me go. I think the Hawk Jackson will be getting outboxed, and at 154, I just can't see the Wilfred Benitez being able to escape that power for 12 rounds. I don't think it'll go 12 rounds. I think Julian Hawk Jackson was a good fighter at 154. Arguably his best weight class. You know, he got Hall of Famers. The most Hall of Famers he's beat at any weight class were at 154. Um, and the most Hall of Famers he's fought were at 154. I do believe that the Hawk Jackson will be getting outboxed, but I think there'll be times when the man Wilfred Benitez will be waiting for the counterpunch too much and giving Julian Jackson opportunities. And Julian Jackson will probably catch him with a sneaky sweeping left hook. He'll bring it from his hips and just catch the man Benitez. I think he'll have him on Queer Street, and I think he'll hurt him bad at 154 pounds, and he'll probably knock him out probably in the fifth round. I got fifth round KO for the man Julian the Hawk Jackson over Benitez at 154. That's my vote. How you see it, Chris Caban? We live, eat, sleep boxing.
I don't disagree with y'all on this one.
Yeah?
I think he could go the distance. He went the distance with Tommy Hearns, beat Durant at 154. He had a little mental lapse against Davey Moore, but I think he can. I think he can hold out with his defense and outbox on Julian Jackson.
And I think he can outbox him till he gets caught.
Yeah, he got punched by Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns was a devastating puncher at 154 too.
He was, yeah.
But I don't see them. I don't see him. I don't see Benitez winning though.
You see Benitez winning.
Yeah, I see him winning.
How?
8 rounds to 4.
8 rounds to 4. Washes Julian Jackson. I think to beat Julian Jackson, you gotta knock him out.
Not necessarily.
I ain't never seen him lose a decision.
Nah, I seen him fight today. He looked bad in that he didn't knock the guy out either.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be a tough one, man.
But Jay, he advances anyway because it's 2-1.
Yeah. I just don't believe. I think Benitez at 140 and 147 was in his
But the reason
prime.
he got a knockout against David Moore, you remember he fell, he hurt his ankle. He couldn't get back up.
Yeah.
I think he broke his ankle in that fight. They called it a knockout though, but he broke his ankle in the fight because he got knocked out cold.
He got punched in the face though, in the corner.
Yeah, but he broke his ankle though. He tried to get back up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think Julian Jackson advances. The Hawk. I think Julian Jackson, man. If he's not going 12, if he's going 12, he's either gonna get slept. All right. So Julian Jackson. So that's the end. That's the end of the quarterfinals, y'all. We finished with the quarterfinals. Oops. Sorry about that. Let me put on. All right. And now we're on to the semis. We got Tommy the Hitman Hearns in the semis. Tommy Hearns versus versus Mike McCallum. Oh yeah, fights we didn't get to see. Thank you, Emmanuel Stewart. Matter of fact, let me read the chat right quick. Battle Rifles in the chat. He says, "Oh, it was Harry Simon whom he didn't know. That's whom he didn't know. Harry Simon, you were right. Chris. And Battle Rifle says Vasquez was tight too. I don't know who to pick. Southpaw, that he had good foot movement, had nice combos too. Yeah, but he ain't beat McCallum, so we move on to the semifinals. Mike McCallum, the body snatcher from Jamaica, WBA 154-pound champion, versus the WBC 154-pound champion, Tommy Hearns. Fights we didn't get to see, thanks to Emmanuel Stewart. This could have been a unification we could have seen in real life. How you see it, Charlie? Charlie Brown? Page and Charlie Brown?
Let me go first until you get back.
Bet.
Okay, I see actually they had sparring foot. They had two sparring footage on YouTube when them sparring in the crowd.
Yeah.
And they had a 15-minute. They took that off, but they had a 4 minute. They also, I still think they got 2 or 3 minute up there.
Yeah, I seen it
From
the
that
other
sparring
day.
shit. But they had a 15 minute. They had like a lot more rounds. But from that sparring session, I got damn Tommy Hearns. That longer one I seen, he couldn't get past Tommy Hearns' jab.
Yeah.
I got Tommy Hearns winning by a UD.
Hmm. Tommy
I know
Hearns.
that's just sparring, but Tommy was jabbing the shit out of him in sparring. Tommy had like that was a damn real fight.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
I got Tommy Hearns winning.
8 rounds to 4.
Yeah.
How you see it, Charlie? Are you back? If he's not back, listen up, chat. If Charlie doesn't come back, one of you guys, whomever it is listening, because I see people in this live chat listening, y'all gonna be the tiebreaker, all right? I'm gonna give my vote right now. You guys gonna be the tiebreaker, okay? Till Charlie comes back from wherever he is, all right? So Mike McCallum versus Tommy Hearns. Now you see, I've seen that footage. I remember you told me about it, and that it came back to me. I'd watched the footage when they had it on YouTube, the longer version. I'd also seen footage between like the G-Man and James Toney. I'd seen a lot of Crunk Gym training. Now, as far as that particular footage, it looked like McCallum was having a hard time getting past the jab. You know what I'm saying? Um, but then again, that's just 4 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever, however long it is. And the word from the Crunk Gym or the rumors always were that Mike McCallum would give Tommy Hearns that work. To the point Tommy Hearns' brother told him to stop fighting his brother. It's Tommy Hearns' brother who gave Mike McCallum the name, the body snatcher, because of how he was ripping the mad Tommy Hearns and every opponent, um, what you call it, body in the gym. Emmanuel Stewart said his best friend in all his years at the Crunk Gym, a guy he used to get along with, was really friends with, a guy whom he'd go out to dinner with. It wasn't Tommy Hearns like anybody and everybody would think. It was Mike McCallum. You know what I'm saying? That's why when they broke up or split apart, it was kind of bitter. It wasn't just like a mutual agreement, like we'll go our own paths. I think Emmanuel Stewart, being the manager and trainer of Tommy Hitman Hearns, knew exactly what Mike McCallum could bring to the table, especially against his star pupil from Detroit, Tommy Hearns. And I
They
think,
split because he stole the fight from he stole the Duran fight. Duran was supposed to fight Mike McCallum.
yeah, yeah, and and Mike McCallum felt the communication, just wasn't it wasn't right as far as, because if Mike McCallum had beat Duran, then they would have a unification. You know what I'm saying? Because when when Duran fought McCallum, Duran was the WBA champion. I'm sorry, when he fought Tommy Hearns. But if you watch that fight, only one belt is on the line, the WBC for Tommy Hearns. It's because the guy was supposed to fight his mandatory. Duran, which was McCallum. But since he didn't fight him, he had to be stripped. You know what I mean? That's why McCallum fought Shaw Mannion. You know what I mean? And what's his name? There was $300,000 on the table for McCallum to fight. I forgot who, but then he ended up fighting Sean Mannion. It was $300,000 to fight Duran, but he ended up fighting Sean Mannion, and this was his first fight up away from Emmanuel Stewart, and he only made $30,000. You know what I mean? That's a big difference. You know, I'm gonna do a video. I'm actually gonna do a video. I'll probably do it this week. I'm gonna do a complete breakdown on the situation between Duran, McCallum, and Hearns. And Emmanuel Stewart was in the middle of all that shit. You know what I mean? But we talk about breakdown and predictions, and right now not financial stuff. And I think Mike McCallum had the recipe, the style to beat Tommy Hearns. Not wide, might struggle, might get dropped, you know, but I think he would bring a lot of pressure to the man Tommy Hearns, especially with the body shots. Both of them are vicious body punches. Both of them footwork. It's not the greatest footwork, you know what I mean? You know, both not no, none of these guys are really bouncing on their toes or can have that in and out type of offense. You know what I'm saying? But I think Mike McCallum had a very good jab and he was just a relentless body puncher. And I think if he stays on the inside, Tommy Hearns has problems with inside fighters and brawlers and sluggers. You know what I mean? And I think when you get on the inside, Tommy Hearns actually now gives up his height and reach and gets into a fight contest. I mean, rather than stick and move, boxing with the jab, unleashing those whipping left hooks to the liver. And I think Mike McCallum would win this fight. If it's a 15 rounder, because it was in the 15 round era, I could probably see him winning a split decision. You know what I mean? 8 rounds to 7. You know, I think Tommy Hearns a good back and forth battle. I'm not sure. I don't think any guy will hit the canvas if both of them. I think they'll both be on their feet for the most part. But I think the attrition and the gas tank of Mike McCallum wins him the later rounds, and he wins a very close split decision or majority decision over Tommy Hearns. I think Mike McCallum ain't get his opportunity because Emmanuel Stewart knew what was really good. And those are my thoughts. Who we got in the chat? We got a troll who came in the chat. I'm not gonna read his name, and I'm not gonna read his name, and I'm not gonna read his comment. You know,
What you talking shit about one of us?
yeah, he's trying to talk shit about us. Well, all I could say is these type of dudes, man.
Man, we don't. That's social distance gangster. He'll quarantine gangster. I ain't trying to hear that
Yeah, that's absolutely a social, a quarantine gangster who don't got a life. You know what I'm saying? Who don't got a life. We here having a boxing discussion, and he's coming to troll. That's why he'll get no shine, no love over here. And if he say some more dumbass shit, I've only blocked one person on my whole time doing live streams, and that's because they said some racist shit. You know what I'm saying? If he come in this joint talking some goofy nut ass shit, I'm gonna boot him up out of here. Anyways, who's in the chat? Y'all gonna be the tiebreaker if y'all out there listening. Charlie Brown's ain't on the line no more. I guess not. Anybody in the chat? Mike McCallum versus Tommy Hearns. Will anybody leave their thoughts and comments? Who they think's gonna win? I need to hurry up, man, cause I want to keep it moving. I don't have time to wait. If you listening, don't one of those guys just listening. Don't want to participate. Came in this joint just to eavesdrop. Leave your thoughts. I ain't asking for no donations. I ain't asking for your girlfriend's number. Thank you, Tevin Perkins. Thank you. Tevin Perkins in the chat says McCallum. So I guess McCallum wins. How you had it, Chris? You picked Tommy Hearns, right? Tevin Perkins, thank you for being the tiebreaker. He picks McCallum. I'm not even gonna ask how many rounds or what kind of how you score, break it down, because it might take a minute before we get an answer. So thanks a lot, Tevin Perkins. So McCallum moves on and they beats Tommy Hearns. The man from Jamaica, the Yardman, beats Tommy Hearns. Okay, where we at next? Um, okay. Uh, we got two more. One more, excuse me. What is it? Winky Wright versus Wilfred Benitez. Ooh. Winky Wright versus Wilfred Benitez. How you see that one going down, Chris?
I'm gonna go with Winky Wright for this one.
Ooh, Winky Wright at 154. How you see it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Winky Wright. I think that Winky Wright, both of them defensively, but Benitez had his hands down a little bit too much for my taste.
Yeah.
I see him getting jabbed. I think Winky Wright jabbed the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
I got Winky Wright 8 rounds to 4, man, with that fucking jab.
8 rounds to 4, Winky Wright. I could dig it, man. All right. How do I see this one going down? Winky Wright versus Benitez, you know. Benitez was a 5'10 dude. He was pretty tough for his weight class. For all them weight classes he fought at. Um, I think at 154, Winky's just a better fighter, you know what I mean? Fought the better names, been through a lot more adversity, come back from adversity, you know what I'm saying? To the point where he was the last man to be undisputed at 154. I think it's just hard to look good against this guy. And I think that's what the boxing judges didn't like about the guy. That he wouldn't open up for you to just tag him up. He was a very disciplined fighter on defense. Didn't open up and leave himself vulnerable to get caught with straight right hands or all kind of punches. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the man, Winky Wright is just a better fighter. You know what I'm saying? At 154, and I think he catches um, Duran with left hooks, right hooks. I said Duran, sorry, Benitez. I think he catches him with the right hooks. He'll out jab him, you know what I'm saying? And he's not going to give this guy Benitez much opportunities to open up with combinations, you know what I mean? And if he does try to go for broke, I think Winky Wright has enough power to put him at least on the canvas a couple times. I mean, I've seen Bruce Curry do that at 140 numerous times in one fight. So I think Winky Wright is a better fighter at 154. And has a better legacy at this weight class because he put in work. Remember, this guy was fighting there from the mid 90s to the mid 2000s. Very good fighter at 154. I think he wins on points, and I think he wins 8 rounds to 4, 7 rounds to 5. Clear cut, unanimous decision for Winky Ronald Wright. Absolutely. Um, It doesn't even matter who's the tiebreaker because both of us picked Winky Wright. Feel free, Tevin Perkins or whoever else is listening in the chat. Feel free to leave who you think will win at 154 pounds between Ronald Winky Wright versus Wilfred Benitez. Don't be shy. Be Marsh Boxing, don't bite. I actually appreciate anybody's input because this type of live stream or a fantasy quarantine edition also relies on fan participation, you know what I mean? So don't feel shy anyways, you know what I mean? I know people be up in this joint listening to B Marsh Boxing channel. Don't be trying to say who they are. Be scared to hit the thumbs up. You know how people be. And I know it'd be mostly uploaders, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. We're going to keep it moving. We ain't got time to wait for nobody. Time is money, right? You can get money back that you lose, but you can't get time back. You know what I'm saying? So, alrighty then. All right, I think we in the finals, dogs. We in the finals. We got Winky Wright versus the Body Snatcher. WBA 154-pound champion Mike McCallum beat guys like Milton McCory, Sean Mannion, um, David Braxton. Beat these guys at 100. What's the guy's name? Julian Jackson. Beat these guys at 154 versus um, Winky Wright, undisputed at 154 pounds. Winky Wright. So how you see this one, Chris? This the final, baby. Down to the
Yeah, I think
finals.
we're gonna crown a champion of the tournament, and that champion of the tournament gonna be Mike McCallum. The fights Winky Wright lost, he take rounds off.
You
He
going in
got
and out,
messed
my
up
G.
sometimes.
I can't hear you too well, sir.
I said, can you hear me now?
Absolutely perfect.
I said we got to crown a new champion of the tournament. I think that's is Mike McCallum.
Uh huh.
The fights Winky Wright lost, he took a lot of rounds off that he shouldn't have took off. And his work rate, I think he covers up too much, then wait for you to stop punching and then try to hit you with combinations. I think the work rate, the rate of Mike McCallum would keep him covered, and the body shots would keep him covered up majority of the fight.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I got Mike McCallum winning on points.
Woo. I could dig it, man. So how many rounds?
8 rounds to four, 9 rounds to three, because I think he would be covered up on majority of the fight because he lets people hit him. He does that high guard shit. I think he'll be in that high guard majority of the fight with Mike McCallum.
True indeed. And sorry about that. I got a phone call come through. Always somebody but calling my phone when we doing something important. When I be doing nothing, nobody hits me up. All right, so Winky Wright via I'm sorry, Mike McCallum via unanimous decision. Okay. All right, so I think Mike McCallum also wins this fight, man. In the trenches, I think inside he's got the mean body shots. And sure enough, this guy Winky Wright is vicious covering up his body with the body shots. You know what I mean? I think he's a good Winky Wright. That's the best part of his game, the defense. You know what I'm saying? But I think Winky Wright will have a problem getting past Mike McCallum's jab. You know, Mike McCallum was also a tall guy for his weight classes. As far as junior middleweight, he's like 5'11" with a 74-inch reach. So I think he's gonna be pumping that jab, keeping this guy Winky Wright at the end of the jab. You know what I'm saying? I think now Winky Wright will be trying to walk him down in that high guard, trying to catch him with some shots. I think Mike McCallum will be countering him. You know what I'm saying? You know, he ain't gonna have to use any much of footwork. He's just gonna have to wait for the man to open up. You know what I mean? Even if it's one punch at a time, I think it'll be a jab contest, and the jab contest will go in favor of Mike McCallum. And I think Winky Wright will be caught with some flush right hands. Not often, you know, few and far in between, but more right hands than Winky will be landing left hands. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just a southpaw. Kryptonite to beat the southpaw is a straight right hand. I think the left hooks will be also to the liver and also left hooks to the head for Mike McCallum will play a big role. You know, I think Winky Wright can win rounds, but not too many. I think he wins probably like 3 rounds, to be honest, versus Mike McCallum. Because I think Mike McCallum's work rate, especially when this guy Winky Wright is just trying to cover up and not throwing money punches back, trying to make him pay, I think will cost him on the scorecards. You know what I mean? And I think 9 rounds to 3 will be Mike McCallum winning the tournament and winning the WBC. I'm sorry, the 154-pound tournament. I think he wins it 9 rounds to 3, unanimous decision. That's how I see it.
Ain't no need.
So it look like we got a winner, man. We got Mike McCallum versus Winky Wright in the final, and Mike McCallum wins. And I do consider Mike McCallum, uh, Winky Wright, and Tori Norris. I consider those the 3 greatest 154 pounders of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we go by styles based
Yeah,
matchups.
styles make
Style make
fights.
fights.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Winky Wright can beat a lot of guys at 154. And I think Mike McCallum does too, you know what I mean? But I think he gets this W. I think he's
What
fought.
would have came out between Mike McCallum and Tommy Hearns? I had him beating Winky Wright. Either one of those anyway.
Yeah, me too. Yes, indeed. So we got a winner, ladies and gents. I want to thank everybody in the chat who came through. Tevin Perkins. I ain't gonna call that bitch ass nigga's name, whoever he is, who came in this joint trolling. Big ups to Battle Rifle, per usual. Thanks a lot. Big ups to Wood. Stay Real TV. Shout out to everybody who came through. You know what I mean? So, were there any fighters you think we left off this list who possibly could have made it?
That's pretty good. We could have put Budani up there
Yeah, I think Laurent Bundwani. Yeah,
or the Korean dude.
yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah,
Joe
but yeah,
Bayek or Joe
that was a
Park.
pretty solid list.
Yeah, man, I think it was a solid list. I think with 16 guys, I think one thing about the list that we're doing, we try to diversify it. You know what I mean? As far as putting guys, of course, look, like let's say in the last one we did with lightweight when we got guys like Henry Armstrong and Joe Gans, we do that for guys, like your grandfather might be 80, 90 years old and he might have remembered these fighters. He might be listening to these YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So we put those guys in for him so we don't forget the great fighters of yesteryear, you know what I mean? When we might
But we
have
also do we put guys in that's in that right division.
right, yeah. We put guys who definitely were in their right division, you know what I mean? Like what is this, 154? We're not gonna put I don't know. Who's at 154 who maybe just passed through? I don't know. We're just gonna put the right guys in the right division who campaigned in these divisions and have left a mark. You know what I mean? Not like let's say at lightweight, like have it like a Manny Pacquiao. We did a lightweight tournament, we didn't have Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao had one fight there. How I'm gonna judge him as an all-time great because he beat that dude David
David
Diaz?
Diaz.
Beat the shit out of him. One of Pacquiao's greatest performances of his career. I love that fight, man. He destroyed that guy. But I wouldn't really rate him at 135. I would rate Pacquiao with 130. He's beat three Hall of Famers at 130. You know what I mean? You know, or let's say at like 147.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't put Ricky Hatton in a 147-pound tournament. I'd have it at 140. He's had
Yep.
fights. He fought Floyd Mayweather at 147. He fought Collazo at 147. But that's not his ultimate great weight class, you know what I mean? So you're right about that, Chris. We put guys in the right weight class. And we also have new guys, too, from 2000s era, 2010 era, 2000s era, 90s era, 80s era, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. We just try, we try to give you all the best of the best, 16 in a weight class, and styles make fights, you know what I mean? So I think we got everybody except, like you mentioned, Laurent Bundwani. But at the end of the day, I think he probably would have lost in the first round. No disrespect to him, but I think we did a good job on this one, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one.
Which is your tournament, which is 168.
Yeah, we'll do a 168-pound tournament. If we don't do one today, because today we gotta watch that Jordan joint, and I'm probably gonna do
Yeah,
a live
last
stream.
dance.
I'm gonna do a live stream after Last Dance. Reason I didn't do one last week was, right after the Last Dance, they show Sports Center, and they be showing like extra stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They showed
that's why we gotta do it tomorrow.
okay, or if I do it, it probably will be at 11:30, and I'll do a quick joint. Maybe we can chop it up for 30 minutes.
Because after the last dance, they had a lot of guys from that era talking about
Yeah,
it after the fight on
exactly.
ESPN.
Yeah, they have exclusive interviews, even live interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we don't do one tonight,
That's why I try to get this done before 9 o'clock.
yeah, absolutely. Cause I'm about to eat me some lunch right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, B March Boxing, big ups to everybody in the chat. And we got a winner. If you don't know who it is, rewind the tape and listen through. And we're going to catch y'all on the next one. 168-pound division coming quick, fast, and in a hurry. B March Boxing, shout outs to the panel. Big ups to Chris Caban and from We Live Eat Sleep Boxing, the livest Facebook boxing group out there on the internet. And big ups to Charlie Brown. Subscribe to his channel, B March Boxing, and we gone. Peace.